Hello, I want to welcome everybody today to the first virtual conference of the Northern Waters District. And we are a combined praise team from the Frankfort, Alberta churches over on the west side of the state on the beautiful shores of Lake Michigan. And we are thankful to be able to come here to you this morning and help provide some worship music. We're going to get started today. We thought this was a fitting song in the times that we're in right now with the social unrest and political unrest and all the things going on with the coronavirus, COVID-19, you name it. We've got stuff on our plates, right? And Christ told us, that we've never been promised to have an easy road of it, but we know where to turn, and we know where to turn to God, and we can feel it welling up in our hearts. And I think that there isn't a person that I've talked to that doesn't feel that way, that we need the Lord, that we need Him, we need revival. And revival is us turning to Him, looking at Him, and leaving these ways behind, laying it at His feet, and moving forward, letting Him take control of it. So this is a song by Rob and Mark. It's called Revival.
Like a tree in the air.
God's grace, we have a hard time understanding that sometimes. It's His crazy love. It's His unmerited grace and love for us. That no matter what we do, no matter who we are, no matter how bad we screw up, there's no amount of works that we can do that's going to make up for it. Jesus Christ has already paid that price for all of us, dying on His cross. And this next song by We the Kingdom is entitled Holy Water. It speaks to just that.
Please again, I need you. Can there be peace without justice?
We have the right to stand up for ourselves. Yes.
My people had to get a permit to stand and protest on land that is theirs. That is an atrocity.
That's the problem. It's not white people.
You're celebrating homelessness, theft, murder.
There can be no peace while injustice goes unchecked. Marginalized and oppressed peoples everywhere need allies and solidarity. This is the mission of the Peace with Justice ministry team. There must be a twofold approach. Charity to provide direct services and relief, and advocacy to change the root causes of systemic oppression. Together, this combined strategy leads to justice. And only with justice can we live in peace. What would motivate you to educate?
Well, they were taken from their homes, right? They were taken from their homes and put in schools. And these schools were supposedly to help the kids, but then they were not allowed to use their language. They were, beaten, abused, and died. Many children died. So there's a trust against the church and white people and religion and anything that's outside of the native culture.
To advocate.
You see what Disney wants you to see. You believe what Hollywood tells you. You buy the cheap, romanticized version of my culture. I am not a character. I am not a mascot. No, I am not Pocahontas.
To act.
The Not Invisible Act and Savannah's Act. These two bills address the epidemic of violence against Native women, commonly referred to as missing and murdered Indigenous women. Statistics show that Native American women are particularly vulnerable to violence in their lifetimes. On some reservations, for instance, Native women are murdered at a rate more than 10 times the national average.
To be silent is to be complicit. We must work together and stand in solidarity anytime, anywhere, for any issues that you feel in your heart are unjust, like racial inequalities, poverty, health, water and land rights, global warming, and the list goes on and on. Micah 6:8 tells us, "And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God?" Your voice, your activism is desperately needed. Will you take action?
Hello, I want to welcome everybody.
The joys and dangers of doing live productions. Many of you have walked these over the last few months, similar situations. So good morning, and thanks for joining the Northern Waters District Conference. I'm District Superintendent Jody Flessner, joining you from the Petoskey United Methodist Church. And I want to thank Doug Mantha and Dave and the team here at Petoskey for hosting and producing this virtual conference and for rolling with the last couple of minutes. And a shout out to the Frankfurt, Alberta Praise team. We'll be hearing from them a couple more times this morning. This fall, we asked the churches and the pastors of the district to discuss and vote on the 2021 district budget and the slate of 2021 district officers. I'm pleased to announce that both passed unanimously. Thanks to Jill Haney in the district office who kept this process on track along with many other things. The budget is the same as 2020 as we try and be faithful to the resources that we have within the district. And I want to give a sincere note of gratitude to all of you for your faithful support of district ministry shares. We've been sending you quarterly statements to kind of let you know where you are for the year. Those aren't mandated invoices. They are just to let you know where you're going. And the language on that hasn't always been clear. We're working on that. As we approved our slate of officers, I want to offer a special thanks to those who have served over the years and are moving on to other ministries, those who are continuing to serve on our district committees and teams, and a warm welcome to those who are joining us new this year. We just saw a video of one of our area ministries with the Peace with Justice team. That was supposed to come next, but we will be hearing also this morning from the Wesley Foundation at Ferris State University that is supported by many of the churches in our district. Let's hear those students and leaders share with us now.
Take me back to the place that feels like home, to the people I can depend on, to the faith that's in my bones. Take me back to a preacher and a verse where they've seen me at my worst, to the love I had at first. Oh, I wanna go to church. Trying to walk on my own, but I'm wound.
Hi, my name is Megan Hartley. I'm a freshman at Ferris State University, and my first week at Ferris was a little rough. I was brand new to the campus, I didn't know anyone, and when I first stepped into the Wesley doors, I felt instantly comfortable and accepted for who I was, and it made me more confident being on campus and exploring what my new college life would be like.
Wesley House gave me people that love me and support me and cheer me on. So.
Wesley has been a great part of college for me because I came in without any background in Christianity or any sort of faith. Wesley was very welcoming. They didn't try to force any learning on me, and it was a very open place to learn new things about faith and what you want to believe in.
Hi, I'm Jeanette, and when I first came to campus, I was not looking for a church community. I've been burned in the past really bad, and I had a really bad taste in my mouth because of it. And through friends on campus, I found out about the Wesley House. I started going for the free meals, and from there, I found out it was a great and positive community, and it's helped me grow both personally and spiritually, and it's just a very welcoming place where you feel like it's a home away from home.
Hi, I'm Erin. Not only has Wesley helped me develop myself as a person, but it's also helped me develop myself as a Christian and in my faith. I came to Ferris looking for a church and a ministry organization, and Wesley really helped me come to terms with being on my own up here.
I'm here because I see the direction that we want to go towards, and we want to just reach the community in a world where everyone feels like they're getting bogged down, knocked down, beaten down, that they know that people love them, that they are loved by God, and that we love them.
I wanted to share with you a few brief reflections, especially as I look back on the time I spent with you at church conferences this fall. We have just entered 2021. But 2019 seems so very long ago. Hopefully, we can bring back larger gatherings in the fall of 2021. But as we gathered in smaller groups this year, one thing was painfully consistent as I gathered around tables and around screens with you for our Charge Conference season. The one thing that brought great pain in every context was that we miss each other. There are so many people that we're used to seeing every Sunday. And now we're lucky if we see their name in a few words of greeting as we worship together virtually. Or they've moved out of the area for jobs or to be closer with family. And some have even walked on to God's kingdom. And in those last two situations, we haven't had a chance to offer a proper goodbye. We have hope as we enter into 2021 that things will improve, but we have a ways to go. Even in the midst of these trying times, there is lots to celebrate. As I've had the opportunity to worship with many of you virtually, it has been a blessing to hear car horns honking from the parking lot as people tune into shortwave radio to listen to their pastor and their music in their church. There were several outdoor Christmas Eve candlelight services, and as cold as it was, we hung out there and we sang some of our favorite songs, socially distanced, of course. There have been Zoom coffee hours and Bible studies, churches reaching out to their communities in new ways, figuring out how to feed the hungry, how to support our teachers and staff and kids, distributing food and support to first responders, and cheering on our local businesses. And in some cases, finding our towns more crowded in this summer than we have experienced in a long time. We are finding creative ways to connect online. And boy, have we all had a crash course in how to do what maybe we'd been talking about for a long time. How do we reach out virtually to people in our community? And as I've worshiped with you online in different places, there are several times when I have been excited to witness as people have joined churches via Zoom and Facebook. Think about that. Making public vows of commitment to live out our faith, our prayers, our presence, our gifts, our service, our witness. To live that out in a specific church family, but to do that virtually during a pandemic. Those moments were reminders to me that the mission and ministry of our church does not stop. It cannot stop, no matter what we face in this world. There are people who are desiring baptism, creative ways of serving communions. Here at Petoskey, they often do that under the portico, I think when it's a little bit warmer out. You know, baptisms are an amazing event that we celebrate. I'm probably going to discourage people from using squirt guns to socially distance, but there are ways that people are hungry to deepen their relationship with Jesus Christ and to bring people into the family of God. So as we've gotten kind of used to this new normal of the pandemic and we look forward to a different future, my question this fall has been, and it's going to be even louder as we move into spring, what are you doing next? How are you planning to reach out as our new normal becomes a bigger reality? Are there elderly in your communities that have always felt a little bit disconnected, that you've found some really meaningful ways to connect with? Especially as we've passed the holidays now, and they are going into almost a year of feeling extremely isolated. How are we going to be more intentional in reaching the most vulnerable? And as we look around at our aging congregations, how are we reaching our communities in new ways? How are we raising up and making room for the next generation of leaders? We've experienced many blessings as we offer online worship. So what are the next steps that you are taking to connecting with those joining us virtually in real and meaningful ways? We're reaching people who not only aren't able to gather with us in person now, but people who hadn't maybe really explored attending a church before, or it had been years. They are peeking in online and through other ways that we have created to gather during this time, looking to see if they would be welcome, looking to fill and nourish their souls. What's the next step that we need to do to connect with folks that are joining us in these ways, to connect with them in meaningful ways, so that they know that they may be a part of the community of Christ in each of our places? As we continue to be painfully aware of the issues that divide us as a nation and as United Methodist, how do we keep proclaiming and living out the gospel of Jesus Christ and keep that as our top priority and focus. This has been a challenging year. And it's not likely to get easier for a little while yet. But let's take a breath as we move into what's next. I want you to know that I am all in with each of you. And together we'll make it through whatever lies ahead. We've made it this far. We're going to keep going. So what do you need to equip your church to move forward? What are the resources that you're looking for? What are the ideas that need to be generated? We're always looking to create meaningful district events. So let me know. Email me. Email the district office. Send a text message. Let me know what would be helpful in your context. There may be resources already out there that I can point you to, or we may even create some of our own. But as we go through this together, may God's blessings be upon us. And once again, may you be blessed by the Frankfurt and Alberta praise team.
As we go through difficult times and difficult days, the one place that we can always continue to look is in God's Word. God's Word always brings us hope and joy and the reason to look forward. It helps us to look at life's problems in a different light and be able to overcome whatever it is that's in our path. The next song is written or is arranged and recorded by Michael W. Smith. It's entitled Ancient Words.
Many of us have been spending a lot of time and energy over the past several months caring for others. And I know it's counterintuitive to put our own oxygen mask on first, but I've been reminded time and time again that often, if we don't tend to our own souls, we will have little, if anything, to offer others. Jesus wants us to come to the well and receive refreshment and renewal. It is my great honor to introduce and welcome our keynote speaker, Bill White, as he shares some wisdom on wellness in the time of COVID.
Good morning and blessings. My name is Bill White. In May of 2020, my wife Michelle and I were consecrated as deaconess and home missioner. I am the lay leader and council chair at the Leland Community United Methodist Church, and I am also a licensed master social worker. I'd like to talk to you today about self-care. And what I would like to do is to take just 1 minute. I'd like you to close your eyes. I'd like you to take a deep breath. And I'd like you to begin a body scan. I'd like you to focus first on your feet and on your ankles. Any tension, any stress, I'd like you to release it. Then I'd like you to move up to your knees. Focus on your knees. Relax any tension and stress. I'd like you to focus on your hips. Any tension, any stress, let it go, release it. Focus on your lower back. Focus on the middle part of your back. Focus on your upper back and your shoulders. Taking a deep breath, release it, and relax. Follow down to your hands and your wrists, your elbows, and again up to your shoulders. A deep breath. As you let it out, just relax it. Feel the relaxation. Focus on your neck. Deep breath and relax it. Focus on your facial muscles, your eyes, and then focus on the upper part of your head, your forehead. Taking a deep breath. Relax it. Taking another deep breath and slowly let it out. And as you do that, feel your whole body just begin to relax. Another deep breath. Let it out. And just relax. Now you may slowly open your eyes and relax a little bit more. So what is self-care? Self-care is a conscious act. It's a conscious act to promote your own self, physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional health. And it takes many forms. Those forms could be a good night's sleep, a nap, going outside, taking in a deep breath of fresh air, sitting down, closing your eyes and just relaxing as we just did. It could also be praying, just being silent. It could also be reading the Bible or a daily Bible study and focusing on that and just relaxing. The definition of self-care, and I'm going to read this to you. It's a process of engaging in strategies that promote healthy functioning and enhances your well-being, and it is multidimensional. And it's vital for building resilience. And that's resilience for your mind, your body, and your soul. One of the first things is physical. Again, your sleep, exercising, the food you eat. It's important to make sure your body is nourished in a physical way. Also, it can be social. Healthy relationships. Relationships that lift you up. We all know we can find people that will find any fault that we have, but why should we focus on that? It can be your fellow congregants. It can be your pastor. And it can be in reverse. If you're a pastor, you deal with your members. You work with your members. You are engaged with your members, either in Bible study, in learning about Bible passages, about the church itself. It can also be as members in your own Bible study, your own small groups. It can also be a call list. And this time with the virus going around, we have a call list where we will call people on our list on a weekly basis or a monthly basis just to inquire how you're doing. Is there anything that you need? Is it something you need for your physical self? Is it something you need for your emotional health? Is it something you need spiritually? Always keeping track and touching base. And vice versa. You can be talking to your pastor. How are you doing? Are there things that you need? Are there things that can be done to alleviate the load that you have? These are uncommon times. And we have to work both ways in order to not only benefit ourselves, but benefit those around us. There's also mental health. What we think goes a long way in our mental health. You think negative thoughts, negative things happen. You think positive thoughts, positive things happen, for the most part. We're not going to say that things are going to just always be rosy. There are things that come up. Good example today. I get my newsprint out, get my stand out, it's old. I have screws that go in the legs. Forgot the screws. I could have gotten upset. I could have gotten real anxious. I could have gotten, boy, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this now because I won't have my newsprint. Toothpicks. Toothpicks are holding up the legs on my easel right now. Self-care is also keeping our minds sharp. Now, we have puzzles. We have readings that we can do. You have Bible readings. You have daily readings. There are a number of things that you can do to keep your mind sharp. You can also assist others. Talking to others about things that are going on. Many minds make for easy work sometimes. So if there's an issue, the more you talk about it, the more information you get, better it is to be able to make a decision on what's the best course of action to take. There's a couple of Bible verses that talk about your mental being. Before I get to that, though, I want to talk about one other thing, and that is when you do your readings. How many times have you read something, either in the Bible or an instruction booklet, and all of a sudden said to yourself, I don't remember this, or I seem to be interpreting this in a different way? Your mind is active, your mind is working. It's helping you to look at things in a different way, to come up with your best understanding of how that is supposed to be. Matthew 6:25 through 34 says, Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life. What will you eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear? Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet the Heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worry, add one single hour to your life? And we all know how anxiety and worry can weigh us down. Philippians 4:8 Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Keep your mind fresh. Focus on the things that are beneficial to you, to God, and to God's creation. Which brings us to spiritual care. Research shows that people that are involved in some form of religious or spiritual organization fare better in their life. Again, anything that helps you develop a better sense of yourself and a better understanding of the workings of the universe. Meditation. And meditation takes many forms. It can be prayer. It can be just silent. It can be reading the Bible. It can be reading the daily word. Meditating on the words and what it is creation is about. Going to church services, and again, Bible study. And also, again, praying. And prayers take many forms. It doesn't have to be something where you're in a particular place and it's all quiet. It can be in the car while you're sitting at a stoplight, at a stop sign. It can be a thank you. There are many things that can be done for your spiritual health. And then there's also emotional health. You need healthy coping skills. You need to take time for yourself to develop yourself emotionally. A lot of us that are in a helping profession, whether it's a professional job or whether it's a volunteer job, seem to forget that we need to also take care of ourselves. And we will know it when we become short with somebody, and it's usually the person that we love the most, because, as the old saying goes, they should know I love them. It's just right now I'm having a hard time. Why are you having a hard time? Ask yourself that. Give yourself an opportunity to take care of yourself. The other thing that we need to do is, I always come up with a little bit of a mantra. And in my case, it was thank you. I don't know when I did this or how long ago it's been, but no matter what happens, I always say thank you. Not remembering the screws. I said thank you. Because what that did was, it opened my mind up to other opportunities and ways that I could fix this. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a hurry to do something and I've stubbed my toe or I bumped into something. That was a message. And it was a message to say, hold on, slow down. Take your time. Thank you is always a good phrase to use. Jeremiah 29:11. God says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." The final thing that we can talk about is developing your own self-care plan. I got certified in hypnotherapy back in 2008. And one of the things I learned is it takes about 30 days for a habit to develop. It takes longer for any habit you've had to go away because it is so ingrained. We are prescripted as we go through our life. And if you can think of a time that you've been with a group of people or something comes up and you react to it or you say a specific thing and somebody says, "Why'd you say that?" or "Why'd you do that?" And you might say, "I don't know." But if you think back, you probably heard that phrase from somebody that was close to you, a parent, a grandparent, a teacher, a pastor, or you saw somebody that you care about do the same thing. I'm not saying they're good or bad. What I'm saying is we are prescripted. We have things that we do that if we decide we need to change them, it will take time and it will take focus. But what else do we have? We need to take that time for ourselves. One of the things that I do too is when I was in school, I had a sociology professor come into the class one day and say, "Here and now I am aware." And he pointed at a student in class. And she just sat there. A little bit later he goes, "Here and now I am aware," and points at her again. And after a bit she says, "The girl in front of me is wearing a new jacket today." And then he said, "You only have the here and now. You don't have the there and then. You don't have the future. The past is gone. We can use the past to help better ourselves, but we just have the here and now. What we do right now for those around us, for ourselves, has a major impact on our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. So I would advise you, if you could, come up with a little saying that you could give to yourself. When you seem frustrated, when you seem anxious, give yourself a break. Give yourself the time to just take that deep breath, close your eyes, and just feel your body relax. Or use a little saying that you can say, either a Bible verse or whatever, to help you to relax and to calm down. If you need to look for more things, you can always go to the web. You can definitely go to the Bible to find passages that can help you. You can go to the library, you can go to bookstores. There are numerous sources of ways to take care of yourself and to treat yourself as well as you treat others. Because God says, "Do unto others as you would do unto you." So if you're going to treat others well, shouldn't you treat yourself well? I wish you God's peace and blessings as you go about your day. And I thank you.
I hope you've been blessed by our time together today. As we go forth from this time into such a variety of ways of worshiping tomorrow morning, may each of us go in Christ's peace, and may we receive this final blessing in song.
Gracious to you, Lord, turn his face Lord.